Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Ferdbird the Nerd with another video game market report for you all. It is September 10th, 2024. We are almost rounding out the third quarter of 2024. I can't believe that this year is almost over. We are, 2 months away from Halloween. We are in con season with comic books. PAX Northwest just ended, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and some pretty cool stuff came out of that. However, we're doing another video game market report for some retro games here. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I think the most views we've got on any of our videos is about 493, which is pretty exciting to me. So that means that I'll keep doing these videos, getting a lot of subs as well. So if you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll keep doing these reports every so often, probably every week, along with our comic book market reports as well. And I don't think I'll ever do any live streaming. I don't know if there's enough people to watch, but yeah, just let everyone know why we're doing these videos. And as we try and get to 1,000 subscribers with all of your guys' support, I really do appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into it. A lot of interesting stuff that I've been posting on my Instagram page in regards to a PS5 game that got rejected or is no longer being print. But I didn't talk about that in the market report today just because I didn't think it was really relevant to retro games. But I did find some information on a new system that I think people should really jump on if you haven't already jumped on it already. It's still fairly priced, and I think it's that next generation of games, console games, that you need to start buying some sealed stuff because it is cheap right now. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first up, a classic Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Kart. Classic game and hours of fun on this bad boy, but a 9.0 sold in the beginning end of August for $1,000 in CIB shrink wrap. So what that means is basically this was an opened game. The shrink wrap on the original game was left on it. However, it is CIB considered, but that's really strong for this game. This game, I'm pretty sure every kid had this game or at least knew someone that had it. You could play this game solo or play against your friends. It was a ton of fun. And, a lot of memes are made out of this game. There's even like a racetrack somewhere in the US that you can play as a Mario Kart character, which I thought was really cool. But $1,000 for 9.0. I think that's it. I think this game is very colorful in regards to how the box is set and how it presents. It's a Super NES game. This is probably why it went for so much in such a high grade, because I know this is beat to hell. It's a glossy, cover. All Super NES games were pretty glossy, so long-term investment for sure. This is a great start to our list so far. So on to the next, and now our modern, grail or potential grail. This, some of the numbers I've talked about this game before. The numbers on this game are very low, 40,000 to 50,000 print run. The PS4 one's the one that goes for a little bit more. I find these CIB for, about $100 or so. I would love to get a sealed, but $1,000 is a lot. I saw a recent sale for $500 for a sealed PS4 Fortnite. The thing with this is that you don't necessarily have to grade it to keep the value of this game, but I tried selling a sealed version, a graded version of this game, and it got bid up pretty high because people wanted the code to this game. So I think I could have gotten like 500 to 600 for it if I had the code still unused, but I couldn't confirm whether or not it was unused. But $500 for a sealed version of this is pretty high. A Fortnite Neo Versa, which is it's like a headset that you could use, and it was branded as Fortnite, was $450 graded. Now I was looking at the MSRP for that, and it was around like $90. So, with probably 50 to $60 in grading fee, that's a really nice double of your money right there. So Fortnite PS4, if you ever find these for $100, grab them. Make sure you get all the codes to go along with that if you're going to grade it. But if you can find one sealed for $500, I think it's a really good deal. And on to the next. Silent Hill Downpour. Now, the horror games are really easy to kind of flip or to know that you're going to get some good money for it. Silent Hill, I don't know if this is like the franchise that's on par with Resident Evil as far as horror is concerned, but there are so many different versions of this game. There's a movie. I'm sure they could revamp that the on-screen media and get that going again. But this was kind of an offshoot of the game, and it does really well in the secondary market. $125 for a sealed version. I don't, I want to look more into more Silent Hill games, but this is definitely a short print one because it doesn't go in the normal kind of universe of Silent Hill. And as in the title of the description there, PS3 I think are the next seal to get, in my opinion. We're 2 consoles away from PS5 now, so the value of these starting to go up with nostalgia. Kids that this is like their first system they ever played. PlayStation's always going to be a good collector's item. There's not as the more digital. I think this is the next one to get. And the seals on PS3 they seal really well in my opinion. They're really clean. So we're going to go through some more PS3 games in the next couple slides, but I really think PS3 is the one to get, and this is a nice one for $1.25 sealed. Kind of expensive, but it makes sense because of the short print run. And staying on the horror theme for the time being, Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. I would try and get one sealed. There was, I don't remember a lot of kids or parents wanting their kid to get Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, but nonetheless, this was the first system it came out on, and it's considered one of the greatest games of all time. I bought one on PS4. I couldn't play the whole game. It was just a little bit too much for me, but it has story, it has gameplay, and rarity, especially on GameCube. And $149.99 for a sealed version of a pretty clean sealed. I thought that was a really good value, just because of the lower 3 considerations, below there with the rarity of it and the game being on GameCube. And not very well, not a lot of people played GameCube as far as I know, just because I think it was kind of those in between kind of age groups or whatever, especially with the Wii coming out fairly soon afterwards. But nonetheless, Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, get that bad boy sealed for $150. I think it's a good buy. Futurama on Xbox. I'm just trying to keep an eye on this game. I've talked about in the past before, but it's super rare. Find this in CIB, because if you get it sealed, it's going to be really expensive. I think you probably have to pay like $750 to $1K for this, but $250 CIB. It includes all the stuff. Xbox, I wanted to try some difference. I think you can get this on PS4 or PS3. I can't remember, but it's on Xbox. I don't know why this was a short print run, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a good potential because it can cross multiple collector classes. Like it could cross people, fans of the show, comic book collectors, nostalgia collectors, what have you. But yeah, $250 for CIB is pretty expensive. You're gonna have to invest quite a bit of money in here, but nonetheless, it's a pretty rare video game, so it makes sense. All right, on to the next. But before I go on to the next one, I just want to thank everyone. We're almost about 10 minutes into the show. Do me a favor, it takes about 2 seconds. Hit that like button for me, subscribe. Tell all your friends about the show. If you're not into collecting video games or are curious, this is a good start, I think. I'm actually pretty new to the collecting part of it. I have a pretty good amount of knowledge as far as like what video games to look out for, but there's not a lot of videos out there that kind of hone on like games that you don't think of. And so I hope when you guys watch these videos that, if you're selling a collection, just make sure you get the good money for it, because some of those gems that you didn't think were worth a lot of money are worth quite a bit of money. I'm sure someone has a Futurama randomly sitting around somewhere and they have no idea it's worth $250. So hit that like button for me. This is always something I'm going to look out for. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Whenever I go into a video game store, I'm just curious of what video game stores want for this versus actual like people that have this in their personal collection. It's really hard to find a high grade, but if you do find one high grade and you can like possibly like press it, you could turn 120 into 500 and 8.5 or higher. Even 8.0, I could see you getting $400 for it. So it's all just a matter of when you buy this game, whether it be in a store or like online, ask for pictures of all the corners. Make sure the flaps are all connected. I bought one that had the like flap that was basically removed or just didn't attach to it anymore, and that hurt the grade a little bit. But I broke even on that sale. This is Yeah, I mean, it's an easy flip if you can find a good grade, and the nice thing is there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of demand for it. I would compare this to like the ASM 300 of video games. Everybody knows about this game, whether you played it or not. It's considered one of the greatest games of all time. Um, it's a Zelda franchise. It has a lot of things going for it as far as like there's going to be a show coming out soon. There's costumes, people cosplay as this. There's comic book collectors. Everybody knows about Zelda, and this is one of the most fun games I've ever played. Most frustrating as well. I never finished it, but nonetheless, it's still collectible, and I think it's the game for Nintendo 64. So on to the next. Metal Gear Solid 3, another great video game franchise that I'm highlighting today. This is on PS2 if you're not sure. I still think the PS4 version is still my favorite for sure. Or sorry, PS3 version. And I would rather buy that personally versus this because $100 sealed is a lot. But I understand that a lot of people consider this the greatest Metal Gear Solid game ever. It's getting a revamp very soon on PS5. There isn't a lot of collector's editions of this game, but I feel like $99 is fair for the sealed version. It's a PS2 game, but I think there's potential in number 4, in the fourth one on PS3 being sealed. There's a couple collector's editions of that bad boy, and the regular version of that goes for $50. I don't know. I don't know if Metal Gear is ever going to actually make it to the big screen, but once it does, it's just gonna all these games are gonna pop. But I want to highlight this PS2 version because it's more rare than the PS3 version. A lot more people perceive this as the greatest Metal Gear Solid game. It's going to revamp, so that's the reason that I'm highlighting it today. So anyway, on to the next. All right, I thought this was really cool. This isn't really, I don't know if this will ever hit, but Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This cover is just really cool. I think it's just really amazing. The art on this cover. I don't know who did the art on this, but whoever did it, solid job. It's relatively cheap. It's $49.99 for a sealed. I think it's a really good deal. I couldn't find any graded sales of this yet because I feel like more people are grading the Dreamcast versions because that's really what popped off this franchise in general. But this is the second time in a row that I've highlighted a Marvel vs. Capcom game. So I think I'm having nostalgia vibes. But nonetheless, Marvel vs. Capcom number 3, $49.99 for a sealed version. I think it's a great deal. The art is cool, is great on this. And it's a great franchise that, man, Capcom, if you guys could just get your act together and start licensing stuff, it's, I wish Apple would just buy them out and just start doing stuff, but who knows? And last but not least, Final Fantasy 13, my second favorite Final Fantasy game ever. $30 for a sealed version of this. There are a ton of these games, though. PS3, again, like I highlighted, that there's a lot of people, or I think there's a lot of potential for PS3 to really start popping off here. And the reason I wanted to highlight this game, friend of the channel, Nemesis Prime, he actually has not this version, but the Final Fantasy 13-2, so the second version of Lightning's game. He has this in the 99s, which I thought was pretty cool. And so I wanted to highlight that, and just was kind of curious of what the Final Fantasy on PS3 goes off for, because the graphics were amazing on this. The gameplay in this game was really cool. It's a little too quick. The one thing I would say about this game is it ended a little too quickly for me, and you couldn't really level up like you could in past games. I think they kind of got lazy in that regard, but nonetheless, whatever. Well, that's the show for today. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We're almost halfway through there. It is the morning, so I guess we're not really halfway through there, but I do appreciate everyone watching the show. Catch us live on Sundays and watch these video game market reports on Tuesdays. I do comic book market reports on Mondays. Look at our past ones. I may be doing some repeats here, but I just think that you always want to look at the consistent values of video games throughout the market. And I think it's still a small kind of venue for collectors. And it's just getting started, especially with the move from physical to digital downloads in media. It's just, there's just going to be less available as we go forward. So hope you all have a great day. We'll see you next time. Take care.